So let me recognize Senator Mikulski, who we were all joyous, I guess is the right word, about her record-setting stint in Congress that we all celebrated and spoke about last week. But as she has said, it's not how long you serve, but how well you serve, and today is an example of how well she is serving. Without further ado, Senator Mikulski.
Thank you very much, Senator Schumer, members of the Judiciary Committee. And again, I might be the longest serving, but I assure you I won't be the longest talking at this hearing. I'm pleased to be here and joined also this morning by the Chamber of Commerce and by the hotel industry and so on. I want to talk about reforms that I'm suggesting that are included in the JOLT Act, but I want to say, first of all, thank you to this committee, Senator Schumer, your leadership in the bill itself, because I am a strong supporter of this bill. I think we need to do two things. We need to enhance and facilitate people being able to visit our country, come and do their business, get their health care like many do when they visit Hopkins or Maryland, or be leisure tourists, and then return home. We also, though, while we encourage visitors, need to stand steadfast and true to protect our borders. I therefore want to thank Senator Feinstein for her most welcomed advocacy in the area, particularly in the visa waiver program. I want to talk today about the visa waiver provisions in the bill that I developed along with my esteemed colleague, Senator Kirk of Illinois. I have a letter from Senator Kirk I'd like to share with the committee at the end of my testimony. Mr. Chairman and members, I'm here because I think the visa waiver program, which I introduced, is and now part of this bill, is an opportunity to revisit, refresh, and reform the visa waiver program. It has three goals: protecting our borders, creating American jobs by increasing visits to the United States, and honoring and respecting our most treasured allies. I introduced this bill with Senator Kirk. All of you know Senator Kirk is a Naval Reserve officer, an intelligence officer, serving also in Afghanistan. So when we developed our reforms, we're absolutely committed to protecting our borders. And as I said, Senator Feinstein has been an activist in this and has made many great recommendations. Reforms have not been made since 2007. And in those 5 years, the visa waiver we've changed the visa waiver program, threats have evolved, technology has changed, and it's a time to allow lessons learned. So why are my elements very good? Modest as I say in that. This bill would allow the Secretary of Homeland Security to allow countries that meet national security requirements to participate in the visa waiver program. But let me be clear, even if a country meets those security requirements, it is not a guarantee of entry into the visa waiver program. The Secretary must determine a country does not pose a security threat to the United States before it can come into the visa program. So Senators Kirk and Mikulski are committed to protecting our border and that the visa waiver program not be a backdoor for a country to get in that does not want to respect our security protocols. Second, it also creates a probation system for countries not following the rules. It requires the Secretary to place a country on probation if it doesn't shape up in 1 year in order to meet the requirements of the bill, meet the reforms they need to do in their home country. The message is simple: get it right or get out. So once you're in, doesn't mean you stay in. You must, again, meet these security requirements. It also strengthens the ability of the United States to track lost passports. The visa waiver program countries have to keep tight controls on passports and must report lost or stolen passports to Interpol. I visited Interpol and found that what they do on the lost and stolen passport is significant. It creates and also gives the Secretary discretion to allow countries to join the visa waiver program. And what we also do is this. In the past, we counted the number of refusals by our consulate, and if you were below a certain percentage, you couldn't get in. But it didn't count the most important thing, which was overstays, where people would use the visa program, the goodwill invested in the visa program, and they just used it to come in and kind of disappear into our national ethers. That's unacceptable. So what we've done in our reform is focus on the overstay rate and tracking the overstay rate. The second thing is to look at real numbers. They were counting refusals, but somebody could come 12 times and it would be counted as 12 separate applications rather than one person coming. There are older women in Warsaw and Krakow and Gdansk right this minute who want to visit grandchildren in Chicago and drop a thank you note off at Senator Kirk's office, who might be coming to the visa office and the consulate office in Krakow 12 times, but it's still the old Polish lady. Or it could be the scientist, or it could be the Polish students in Canada. So we reformed that by looking at the number of people rather than the number of applications. We know the visa waiver program works. Most recently, in granting South Korea their ability to come in, there was a 49% increase in South Korean tourists. This resulted in great visits, money spent in our country, and jobs in our tourism and leisure world. I'm here, and I got very interested in visa waiver program because of Poland. And it's something that Senator Kirk and I drew together in addition to our work in the national security. Chicago is the home base, if you will, most of the Polish heritage organizations. Poland is really cranky that it is not in the visa waiver program. In fact, when any foreign leader visit, they are cranky to volcanic. And the reason that they feel that way is they feel that they're great allies, they've been steadfast and true, they feel that they've always counted on the United States of America, and they serve with us in many capacities. During the darkest days of communism, a Polish electrician named Lech Walesa jumped over a wall in the Gdansk shipyard. He took the whole world with him when he went, but when he landed on the other side, he had President Reagan on his side. And then working together and working with the free world, we were able to bring down that Iron Curtain. But that Iron Curtain is still a problem because Poland cannot come into the visa waiver program. When they asked for the coalition of the willing, Poland was the first to step up. Our troops fight and die alongside of our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. They don't understand why it's okay to go to Afghanistan with the United States of America, but not be able to visit the United States of America under the visa waiver program. They are now our embassy in Syria. They are acting as our consulate office in Syria, looking out for American lives in Syria. So it's okay for them to protect us and act in our behalf, but that Polish lady, that Polish scientist from the Copernicus Institute can't visit. So in reforming the visa waiver program, I would hope that we have the kind of rules in the game that acknowledge where there's someone that's a treasured ally, a consistent and persistent ally, can be able to visit the United States if they work to defend the United States. So I hope you take a look at the legislation. I really want to help move the JOLT Act. And Senator Kirk has a letter that he wants into the record that where he just says he's sorry he can't be here. And we're sorry he can't be here. He was just great to work on this. We worked very well with all of you. He looks forward to returning to the Senate to move this to the floor. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to thank you for your courtesy, and I hope the JOLT Act moves forward and that these visa waiver programs are in it.